Good evening. My name is Dr. Joeseph Bonivel. I'm a subject matter expert with the Department of Defense, a non-resident fellow at the Atlantic Council Geotech Center, and owner of Engineering Innovations. But I am also a former AAAS Science and Technology Policy Fellow. After spending about 5 years doing research and development for United Technologies Research Center, which is now Raytheon Technologies, I decided to step out of my comfort zone and get into science policy. I knew that that's where innovation was going. I knew that the decision makers and the money flow went back to science policy. And so I took the fellowship and had a wonderful time in the fellowship trying to understand and influence data-driven decisions and science and policy. So one of the questions that's asked here is kind of how has the pandemic shaped kind of how our everyday life is going, and what are we doing to influence that? Within the Department of Defense, obviously, we are still focused on advancing our warfighter, getting the necessary tools in their hands, and whether we do that virtually or whether we do that on the ground or going into the national labs, the buck doesn't stop. We continue to work hard. We continue to ensure the safety of all of the workers, but we continue to innovate, and we have to innovate because our near-peer threats are innovating. We just have to do it. We have to protect our freedoms. We have to protect the country, and so we continue to push forward through COVID. So I'm actually going to answer a different question. How has policy evolved over the last few years? I think we've had a very interesting, I would say maybe 8 to 10 years, where scientists and engineers working in these fields had a literal hand in trying to influence the changes that are made. Everything from climate control and climate change rather, down to basic decision making with algorithms and what are algorithms doing. And then we faced an administration that necessarily didn't focus on these things and put their priorities within the Department of Defense, which is also another thing that we advocate for. I think we're currently in a space where science policy is going to be probably the most important factor moving forward in ensuring that we have technology for good, innovation for good, and really helping the human race. And so I think that that's where the intersection of technical capability and government is going to be the most important space probably in the next 4 to 5 years.